Hi, I'm Nate,
Joe,
and Nathan.
and we're going to cook up some ribeye steaks today, but we're going to throw a little twist in the mix. What are we doing today, Nate?
So we have a couple of different options for ribeyes. We have one that you can purchase at your local Walmart or grocery store prepackaged. So we have that. We also have two bone-in ribeyes that were locally sourced, and these are from your local butcher shop or whatever you want. So we're going to be cooking them a little bit different here. Try out some different stuff.
Each of us are going to take a steak. I'm going to have the prepackaged Walmart special. Joe and Nate are going to have the bone-in ribeyes from your local butcher, and we're going to put them to a test. Nathan has a wife behind the scenes who is going to be a blind judge taste testing.
She's not actually blind.
What we are making today. A little steak mix-up that we're going to throw in her face.
Well, don't throw it in her face.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe just like present it on a plate. And
Food
then
fight.
she can
What's your
choose.
plan? What are you going to cook? How are you going to cook it?
My plan for this ribeye is I'm going to take it out of the package, salt, pepper, little garlic powder, and then throw it in a pan on the electric stove top.
So
What are
you're
you guys
pan
going to cook?
it?
My turn.
Yep, go.
I don't really know a whole bunch about steak, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wash it off because that's what somebody told me to do. Right? That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you
then
sure?
I'm going to rummage through the seasoning cabinet. Hold on. Then I'm going to rummage through the seasoning cabinet and just like find whatever I think would be good on a steak. Maybe something sweet, maybe something salty, maybe something spicy. I don't know. I'm just going to mash all that together and throw it in. Where am I going to cook it? I don't know yet. I think I'll do it on the grill. Yeah, grill.
Some grilling options.
Yes.
For mine, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pat it down, get it nice and dry, get those seasonings to stick. And then I'm going to be using a
Oh, it's prepared.
7 steak spice seasoning in conjunction with a little bit of oil, get a nice crust on it, and we're going to do it on the charcoal grill.
What kind of oil, Nathan?
Olive oil.
Extra virgin?
Extra.
Perfect. Now, we're going to start with some of our sides. What we're going to do now is start with the red potatoes because they're going to take the longest. I have the recipe here on my iPad. In your kitchen, you can grab your phone, print off a recipe, however you're rocking and rolling, get on the internet, search up something with the ingredients that you have. Very simple.
There's so much out there.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take our red potatoes, we're going to put them in some water mixed with some garlic as well, and we're going to boil them until they are ready. Here's what it looks like.
All right, we're going to have a little fun with this. We're starting with the sides, and if you're going to act the part, you got to dress the part. Let's get cooking. Step number 1, open up these potatoes. Most people use a knife, but you're as strong as I am, you don't have to. Do you like to wash these?
Yeah.
Yes, you have to wash these. So that's just what we're gonna do. To the sink! Cold water?
Yep.
Yes. Oh yeah. You gotta nurture each individual one and scrub under their armpits and their toes. And don't forget about anyone. You don't want anyone to feel left out because then they're just gonna turn out all bitter. All right, mashed potatoes 101. Butter, milk, and salt is all you need. This recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna add 3. Let's get crazy. Here's where they want you to be. Here's where we're gonna be. Throw that in. Oh, you gotta take the wrapper off. Now we're going for milk. Almond milk. That'll work. How do they milk almonds? I don't know. And salt. I don't remember how much salt, but I think just a little bit, a little handful. We're gonna do a little bit more. We're good.
All right, so while Joe's got the potatoes on the stove boiling up, what we're gonna do next is get the asparagus prepped. So we're gonna start out by rinsing these puppies off, and then when you get them rinsed off and when you're buying full stem asparagus, you're gonna break off that very end there because it gets kind of woody. And if you look here, you can kind of feel where it's gonna break. And then you get rid of that piece. This is the piece we're gonna eat. So we'll go ahead and do that. Throw these in the sink here, and you can break them before or after, it really doesn't matter. We'll put them right over the strainer and just rinse them off real good. Alright, and then we're going to go through and like I said, we'll break these off. Throw those to the side. Once I get all these broke off, we'll come back and we'll lay out how we're going to season them and get them ready for the oven.
It's potato mashing time. That was sick. Like you're supposed to. Ooh, this thing works good.
And in the kitchen, you can do a taste test, right?
Yes. My first mashed potatoes made by Joe. Dang, these things are good, man. Joe approved.
Okay, so next thing we're gonna do, we have the ends snapped off, we have them rinsed. We're gonna throw them into a baking sheet here, like you see. And then we're going to drizzle some olive oil over the top of them. And then I'm actually gonna brush it in, it just gets a little bit better coverage on them. So we'll go ahead and do that. See how steady my hand is. Whoa! All right. Now we'll just take the brush, do a light back and forth on them, just like painting a fence. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add our seasoning. This one is a garlic, herb, black pepper, and sea salt. It's really good. My wife and I use this all the time and they turn out phenomenal. So we're gonna sprinkle that on, and you can do it however thick or however little you want on them. It's all about the taste.
What flavor is that? Did
This
you just
one-
say that?
I did just say the flavor.
I wasn't listening.
Hey,
Herb.
garlic, herb, and black pepper and sea salt.
Good, good.
Yeah, so it's good. So those are seasoned. We're gonna throw those puppies in the oven, get them cooking, and they should be.
They're good now. Why do we have to waste time cooking them?
I'm popping in to cook some poppers. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna wash them, cause I just took them out of the bag. So, just like Joe said, you gotta get in all the little nooks and crannies. You know what I'm saying? Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna slice and dice these into little boats, and then sometimes I take out the seeds, sometimes I don't. And when you take out the seeds, you get rid of a lot of like the spice, the crazy stuff, you know, the stuff that, you know, you can't give to just your average Joe. So what I'm gonna do here is make my boat. And it doesn't have to be perfect, because it's not going to be. Just kind of dig in there. See all these little seeds? That's the hot stuff. I'm going to take my spoon here, and I'm going to kind of just get into this business and rip them out of each nook and cranny. Leave a little in there, a little spice. Boom, you have a boat. So, once you have your boat, you got your cream cheese. This is my favorite part. Take a little bit of this guy. Use the same spoon, don't matter, it's all clean. So we just cleaned it. Lather them up with a little bit of this. Got a nice little cream cheese filled jalapeno. Take a little paprika. I'll try to fix this here. All right. Take a little paprika and just give them a little dusting. For color, for flavor, it looks really good coming off the grill. Super simple. You can add like a little breadcrumbs on top, do your own little special type of thing. But once you have each jalapeno half looking like this, throw them in the oven or on the grill, and you get to eating them. All right, now that all the veggies are prepped and sides are prepped, we're gonna get to our steaks. Joe, what do you got going on?
Well, I'm gonna start with this big old thing right here, and I am gonna, like I said, I'm gonna wash it off.
So Joe's gonna go and wash his off.
You keep rolling now.
While he's washing his off, Nate, what are you up to?
Oh, perfect. All right, so what I've done is I've patted mine down, got it nice and dry on the exterior, and I'm going to apply my seasoning, and then we're gonna brush it with a light oil.
Perfect.
How about you?
I'm gonna do about the same thing. With this little $9 steak here, get the juices everywhere, make a big old mess. Don't worry about it. With this $9 steak here, I'm gonna blow these turkeys out of the water.
Gobble, gobble. So can we get a gobble?
Get one of those.
Thank you.
With this, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna pat it dry. It's been resting for about half an hour in the room temperature, so it feels good. And once it's dry, I'm gonna throw just the old salt, pepper, garlic powder on it. If we can find it in Nate's cabinet anyways.
All right. So, are we ready? Can we go and dig in now here?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna do my thing. Don't want the big end. That'd be too much.
One thing that's very important about seasoning steaks and preparing food for people is hygiene and washing your hands.
Please.
Make sure, if you have long hair like I do, make sure your hair is up, everything is controlled, and you keep your hands clean. Don't be afraid to wash over and over again after each process. What'd you find there, Joe?
Here's the stuff I got. A little bit of molasses, some crushed red pepper, roasted garlic and herb, ground mustard, and ground cayenne pepper. Most people use oil. I think this stuff is kind of like oil. It's sweet, I know that. So we're just gonna drizzle just a little bit on there and go for a little sweet and spicy. And spicy.
Those are the weirdest concoctions I've ever heard of. Molasses? That's like what you put in cookies.
I know, it's like sweet and spicy.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put salt, pepper, and garlic powder.
Oh, that's cool. You need some molasses?
Nope, I'm good on the molasses.
I think people have done that before.
Joe's got you covered for all your
I have.
molasses needs.
One time in North Carolina, I ate a blackened molasses cowboy ribeye, which is exactly something what you're making
So
up
that's
right
an
now.
actual thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Joe's scoring today. Let's see if he can pull it off.
A little cayenne pepper.
Yeah, I can season higher than you can.
I'm not gonna do it with cayenne pepper because I'm gonna sneeze everywhere.
Do it with cayenne pepper.
But
You
mustard.
pansy?
Do
but
it, you
mustard.
chicken. Oh man, look at that. Oh, he's doing mustard there.
Off the sleeve.
Mustard bay.
All right.
Cool.
I
My
season my-
steak is seasoned.
I season my plate and then I flip the steak over onto it. Is that what everybody does?
Sure.
That's what he did. Here comes a rub down.
You gotta massage it. You're not doing it right. Get in there. There you go.
Oh, you're under a lot of stress, aren't you? I can feel that. You're all knotted up. What? Oh, you're not? You're fine. Okay. That's
All
pretty
right.
good.
Well, well, Joe and I are gonna go hit the grill, right?
We're gonna split up here. Joe and Nate are gonna hit the grill, and I'm gonna take this to the stovetop. See you out there.
All right, time to grill these steaks on. Let's do it.
All right. Now you do a good job.
Talk her into doing a good job.
She's gonna. Yeah. That's
All
awesome.
right, there we go. We're gonna leave these on for a little bit here. Close the lid on them.
Like 3 minutes on each side?
So anyway, I'm talking to this guy, and he's telling me his story. And all the while, I'm asking him where he grilled the steak. Guess where he grilled it?
I don't even know.
In a pan.
What kind of loser grills a steak in a pan? A grill is the way to go, man.
All right,
Let's
so we're
check
ready
out.
to flip these puppies here. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
I'm gonna get a shot of that.
Gosh, do those look good. Get up in there. This is a Minnesota dad must. Not a dad, but dad and working here. So. Look at them.
Oh, the molasses. Look at that. She's cooking.
All right, we'll close those down for a few more minutes here, and then we'll get ready to pull them off and bring them in the house.
All right, those guys' steaks are on the grill. They're outside, chilling out, watching those. I'm gonna be in here, dressing up mine. First, we're gonna start with some olive oil in a pan on very high heat. Just a little splash, nice, rich olive oil. Little much. I like to use olive oil because it's healthier than butter, and I will use a little bit of butter. The olive oil combats the butter from burning when you are using such high heats to sear your steak. So I'm going to take a healthy amount of butter, all right? Because we're going to show Kelsey what a good steak really tastes like. Throw that in there. I'm going to use a large spoon to baste the steak. Once I have this butter melt down, I'll throw this in. Then take your little grip of butter here, if you can get a hold of it, throw it right on top, like bread or a sandwich. It tenderizes the meat and it gets that marbling to open up and render the fat real nice. It is not a healthy way to eat steak, but you all have butter in olive oil, right? It is a great tasting way to eat steak. And very simple. That's kind of what I'm getting at, right? A simple, nice, easy way to cook a great meal. I mean, how often do you eat steak, right? Well, now you're gonna do it all the time. This is $9 at Walmart. Plus some butter and some potatoes. It's cheap and it's fun if you cook with your friends. So I'm gonna let that sit and sear on one side for a good while. And we'll flip as necessary. I'll get back to you in a sec. All right, we're gonna put these on and we're gonna take the steaks off.
Let's take a peek here. Are those looking good? Get those steaks off.
Let me get a shot of those things. Whoa, yeah. Look at that.
Looking good.
Let that cheese crisp up and we're gonna get rocking and eating.
It is smoky up in here.
Yeah, so that olive oil that I put in the pan to not burn the butter Well, what happened was I started my pan too hot. Once I poured the olive oil in, it looked really nice, and my eyes got a little hungry. So I threw the steak on with the butter, and we were showing you guys basting. Well, I put my burner at high to start it up high to get rocking and rolling, and I left it at high. What you're gonna wanna do once you get the oil and butter in your pan is turn the burner down and kind of feel out the sizzle. Kind of watch it burn and accumulate little buttery, wispy bubbles. Yeah, so we also have a few people on set today, so if you hear anything in the background, it's gonna be just fine. Yeah. My steak is done. Once I basted it and cooked it in the pan, I threw it in some tin foil so the juices can accumulate and it can sit in its own little sweaty juices. And what that does is it helps cook through the meat as well, because we're gonna let it rest in the tin foil for about 10-15 minutes. It's red meat, it's steak. I'm hungry, so we're gonna get to it.
Which one's mine? Oh, the one that looks way better. Let's flip sides.
All right, so now we're gonna slice up these bad Larrys, get them thrown on a platter, and see whose is the best.
Well, we already know whose is the best. So while you're slicing that thing up, I'm going to give a little science lesson. So when it turns brown and gets all crispy like that, it's called the Maillard effect. And it's when amino acids create a chain reaction, I think, with the sugar molecules in there. Science.
Pretty neat.
All right, now, Kelsey, would you like to try some steak?
Love to.
All right, let's get her a good steak knife here and a fork over there, Nate.
Who needs a knife when you just need
Mine's going to
fingers?
be...
You can go for
Oh,
it.
she's going with fingers.
Oh yeah, go
Judge-
fingers. If you're gonna go
Judge-
fingers, go fingers.
It's the show is up to you now.
Okay, so am I supposed to pretend that I don't know whose is whose? Or doesn't it matter?
Don't matter.
Okay.
You just gotta pick one.
Just try them.
Alright. Steak number 1. Pretty good flavor. Very good, like medium rare, I would say. Good. I need a napkin, please.
Get her a napkin.
They call me Napkin Nate.
Okay, that was a good contender. Steak number 2. I can tell this one was done in a charcoal grill. I can taste the charcoal. So if you like that,
So that's a plus.
That's
Yeah.
close.
Also
or it's
good-
not a plus.
it's a good ring around there. That's also a good medium, I would say.
Cooked
Little-
to
little-
perfection.
little
Well, we got
pink on
that
the
down
inside.
pat.
That's a good one too. What if they're all tying? Ooh.
There's gotta be
Oh.
the
Tiebreaker
with the sides.
Well, there's no...
rock paper scissors tiebreaker.
rock, paper, scissors.
All right.
tiebreaker.
And last but not least, I might need to take a second bite of that one to reassess.
Oh, come on!
This is happening. I don't know what to
You
say.
gotta be kidding me.
I was the most concerned about one in particular. We won't say whose, but it's interesting.
Interesting is good.
What does that steak taste
Okay.
like, please? Tell
Yeah.
me.
Can
Well-
we? No. Here's what we're gonna do. We're breaking the ceremony here.
Okay. I mean, also you can tell this one was done on the grill.
Keep going, Kelsey. What were you
I don't
saying?
know how to explain it. Like, there's really nothing that it tastes like.
That's unique.
Yeah. Because you can taste, like, the red pepper flakes, but you can also tell that there's, like, something sweet on it. If I didn't know it was molasses, I don't know if I would know that that's what it was. But very good.
So?
Roundhouse Kick, who...
If you were to eat a full steak.
Yeah, whose would you want?
Okay. Well, one more.
She has not decided yet.
I don't know. That's really hard. They're all done very well. But if this is opinion, right? Opinion. If I were to choose a steak to eat, I would honestly pick the pan-seared one.
What?
Yeah,
No way!
Sucker! Waka!
No way!
I'm not saying...
$9.
Okay.
Walmart special.
I personally am not a
me try
huge
that.
lover of the charcoal taste.
Okay, it is good.
It's very good.
I don't even have to eat it. I know.
It's pretty good.
Thank you.
Overall, very well done. Every contestant did well.
Well, I think that's it, right? Now we got to dig in and eat our meals.
That's right.
We're going to go to town.
Let's do it.
Thanks for watching.